Hey everybody, Adam here with the etrailer. Today on our 2017 Mazda CX-5, we're going to be taking a look at the etrailer cargo carrier. So this one is about 60 inches in length by 24 inches in width. So we're going to be able to get a lot of different cargo on here. So we are going to have a steel construction with a powder coated finish, so it's going to look good and it's not going to rust away over time. We have a nice mesh flooring, so if you are maybe leaving the lake, leaving the river, wherever it may be, if it's wet, you don't have to worry about it all puddling up and keeping all your stuff wet. You have some wet clothes, it'll dry on the way home, which is always awesome. So with this one, it is kind of nice because we do have a tilting feature, so we can basically stacks up a little bit higher than normal with the tilting feature. And to activate that, all we really need to do is pull a couple pins. We do want to pull this one up top just so this can go through. And then of course the bottom one we want to pull out. And then just like that, it's going to lean back. So this is going to help our breakover point. With the breakover point, that's the point at which this back hatch is going to meet this part of our carrier. But with it tilted away, we don't have to worry about stacking your stuff up too high because it's not going to hit at all, which is always a plus. So you don't really have to worry about what you put on there, how high you stack all your stuff, and that's always a plus. So once we're done, I'm going to go ahead and just replace this. And while we have it like this, might as well, I'm going to go ahead and keep these out. And I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements before we tilt it up. So not only does it fold away, but it's also going to tilt up to be able to cut down the length a little bit. So let's go ahead and measure first. So from the bumper of our Mazda to the very farthest most point, it's going to be about 42.5 inches. So now we can go ahead and fold it up just like this. And that's going to bring our length down to about 16 inches. So it really does cut it down. So if you're done using it and you're in a parking lot, you don't want anybody to hit it, you can go ahead and do that. And then of course, replace your pins. These pins do come with the kit, so you don't have to worry about grabbing any, which is always nice that you don't have to buy more products after you go ahead and buy a product. But there are some other things that don't come with this, which is what I would recommend using. One of them, if you do plan on stacking your stuff really high up, we do have a light bracket, which is going to just go right here, just in case you block the taillights. We do have that option. We also have a reflector kit if you just need some reflectors, because this is black and powder coated. So if you are taking some night trips, you might want to make it a little bit more visible to whoever's going to be behind you. Other than that, we do have a 2-inch rise in our shank. Since the Mazda is relatively low to the ground, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of help. So you can see that in our shank right here. Just 2 inches of rise, which is always a plus. And it is going to be for your 2-inch hitch receiver. So you want to make sure that we get a 2-inch hitch receiver on your Mazda. If you don't have one, we do. So you can go ahead and watch a couple videos, grab a hitch, and you can probably just do it in your driveway. It does have an anti-rattle bolt, which is always good, just because we're not going to hear all that rattling around, and we're also not going to have all the stuff on the inside be shifting around a lot. As you can see, it's pretty much one unit with our hitch. You have a little bit of play here, but that's just this hinge joint down here, and that's not that big of a deal, especially when it's up like this. We do have a backup camera on our CX-5, which in this orientation, we're going to be able to see through it because of the mesh, but it's not going to be as well as when we don't have this inner hitch. So just be mindful of that, but you get that with any hitch mounted accessory, so it's not really something that you can avoid whenever you're looking for a cargo carrier. It's just kind of how it goes. But other than that, I definitely recommend grabbing this. We do have a lockable anti-rattle bolt, which I would get just because people have sticky hands, and if you're going on long trips, you never know who's going to be at that gas station or truck stop you may be at. But other than that, that's pretty much it for our look at the etrailer cargo carrier on our 2017 Mazda CX-5.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement.